Hello, welcome back to another Space Marine 2 post-commentary video. And in this video, I opened up with letting you know that I'm going to be playing the sniper and that I'm also unlocking the new bolt carbine. I wouldn't say new, it's one of the older heroic weapons, but it's new for me, and it also happens to be the last heroic weapon for me to use. So, as you can see, I've never used this weapon type. I was not a fan of it in the beginning. Which is why it was something I never used. And then when the heroic version came out, well, I just figured if I didn't like the base version, I wasn't gonna like the heroic version. And if you look at a few videos back, when we had that really hard mode, hard stratagem, a couple weeks ago with the double carnifexes and or the double extremis enemies, or terminus enemies, and also the fact that we were doing little gun damage. There was a moment when a teammate came in and saved the day, and if you remember, he was using this heroic bolt carbine, and my eyes were opened a little bit that day. And so another reason I'm picking the sniper is I haven't used it in a long time, so I wanted to capture some footage. That wasn't Tech Marine or Heavy or Bulwark, and so here I am. And going on to the blog section of today's video, I am happy to report that, edge highlighting is coming along. I got all of the legs done, and, I caught some pictures of before and after. So, for comparison, so you can see how the highlight is changing the overall, visibility of the armor panels and stuff like that. And I'm not an expert, but edge highlighting really is an important part of this process in some way, shape, or form. If you do the dry brush method, or maybe like I think the zenithal method, and you use contrast paints. Everything does. Everything. One of these methods is a way to highlight the edges and highlight, you know, um, where light would catch, and that helps separate the pieces, let you see where one ends and the other begins. So that's why I kind of took a before and after the legs here, and that took I that took longer than I expected. I thought this was going to be a faster process because of how everything was so large compared to a Space Marine, and how every edge was pretty much on a 90-degree corner, or an edge. And I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna run my brush along the edge and that'll be that. And yeah, that was true in most places. It's just I kind of underestimated how many edges there would be across how much space. And so yeah, I got to work. I did the little center growing armor plate there, and then also on the back, I chose to highlight the grill areas as well. So the bottom took about 3 hours for me to do, and it's a peaceful experience. I put on some lore videos or some other videos in the background, and I just let them play while I highlight. I take plenty of breaks. I do use 5x zoom glasses, and maybe after about 20-30 minutes of painting these edges, I take them off and give myself a good 10-minute break. Walk around the house, get a cup of coffee, stuff like that. And so after I spent a majority of the work on the legs, I tackled the shoulder guards. So I do have a kind of a side-by-side comparison of these as well, and these are done. And I try to do one big thing and then 2 or 3 small achievable things, so that way I can see progress happening. And so that was a pretty quick and painless process doing the shoulders. And then after that, I moved on to the front grill, or not grill, the front armor cockpit piece that goes up and down, the canopy piece, I guess maybe it would be called. And I got all the highlights I could on that, or at least where I thought it made sense. So those were easy pieces, and then I moved on to the gauntlet, and this was not as painful as a process as I thought. I definitely was like kind of finding my role, you know. The paint was thinned down to a good level, and you know, good consistency, and it was laying down pretty nice, and you know, that, you know, just, I was able to move and groove. So the gauntlet right here didn't take too long. I didn't highlight every little piece of the finger, but I think I got the parts that mattered. Yeah, so that's done. So the only thing left now is the chassis, and you know, considering how long it took me to do those legs, I know this is going to be a good day-long process. So I saved that for last. So yeah, so the chassis is going to get done today, the 25th. So maybe what I'll do is I'll paint while that Adepticon preview show is going on that everyone's talking about. But yeah, you know, and then after the edge highlighting's done, I'm gonna go in and start painting all the lead belcher down, like on the smokestacks, and you know, get the missile launcher painted up, and just start getting the tubing and the wiring done. So that's the plan so far. We're almost there, and I'll save the weapon for last. And that's going to get like corn red and highlights with probably, you know, Evil Sun Scarlet or something like that, Wild Rider Red, something like that. And he'll be done. And then I'll put them all together, and just like I did with my Gravis Captain and my Blade Guard veterans, you know, once he's all together, I'll kind of look at like the most prominent edges, the most like places that would catch the most light, and I will apply the final highlight on Bismuth green in some places, and you know, so he'll be done, and it'll be on to these guys right here. So Deathwing Knights are coming up. You know, the Redemptor Dreadnought will be done this week, and then I will start on my first Terminators. You know, so I've done Hellblasters, I've done Intercessors, I did Blade Guard Veterans, I've done a Gravis Captain, so I've got a Gravis armor painted, and a Redemptor Dreadnought is in progress, and you know, should be done soon. So I'll be jumping over into Terminator armor. So yeah, you know, it's coming along smooth now. I will be putting the pre-order in for the Combat Patrol of the Iron Warriors when that comes out. So whenever that hits the market and hits the shelves, and I look forward to that. So until then, I will just continue building this Dark Angels army. You know, my goal is 2,000 points. And so with this Redemptor Dreadnought, Lionel Johnson, and these Deathwing Knights, plus this Combat Patrol, and you know, eventually because I have a Gravis Captain and he can't lead any of these Tacticus Marines, you know, I was thinking of getting the heavy Intercessors. I believe every single one of those are in what do you call it? Gravis armor. So it looks like I have a lot more shooty guys than in-your-face brawler guys. So we'll see. I don't know how well balanced my army is, but you know, after these Terminators are up, we'll see. You know, maybe I can start thinking about getting the specialties like the Apothecaries and the other named guys. You know, so we'll see. But yeah, that's where I'm at so far. You know, thank you for following along, for anybody who's been watching and keeping track of my progress with my painting. You know, hope to have more updates soon. And thank you for watching. And getting to this gameplay, you know, if you're curious, you know, in the background it was just a normal mode ballistic engine. I am using the heroic carbine, Instigator carbine, so it's got that 5-round burst. And while I level up the carbine weapon tree, I'll be focused on headshot damage. I think that was the point of this weapon, is just stacking headshot damage. And I am also using the new combat knife for the first time in this, and it has the smaller parry window, but I guess every time you do a parry you do AoE damage. So I was definitely feeling that smaller parry window, even though it's a fencing weapon. And you'll see that I don't get necessarily all my parries off. You know, it does come in handy. So yeah, I hope you stick around for the rest of the video. I'll let the mission play out for you, for your background noise at home, and you know, I hope to catch you in the next one. You know, I'm keeping it short and sweet so I can get back to painting. So thank you. Peace.
Path is clear of detritus. You are a noble warrior and a scholar. Alien bioform marked. Air numbers are no match for our railroad on track 6. Request services to clear range. Inserting fresh magazine. Readying next volley. I am not the target practice. Synaptic servants.
Terminator ordnance transfer. 3639 loading complete. Manifest updated.
Fester and rot. Xenos abomination. Active camouflage charged.
Waiting on you.
Warhead is loaded, Lieutenant.
Good. Deploy it.
Brothers, it occurs to me the Xenos are unaware they must catch a train.
Cogitating opposition.
That the slave thwart our duty.
All clear before attempting further track changes.
Ready against volley. Alien firebomb.
Motive charge to 25%. Engine charged to 50%. Fault in charging system detected. Engine steer requested to perform rites of restoration.
Link your armor to the Mechanicus device. You will need to keep close proximity to the charging station until the reset is complete.
Xenos scope. Their numbers are no match for our training.
Dispatcher, the engine is charged and prepared for departure.
Deploy immediately.
Yes, brother. Successful launch.
Detonation in 5. Brace for shockwave. Throne. I felt that in my bones. No Xenos bioscans.